No. Yes.
So
Anikun kama ananipenda. Guys, mnanisikia? Do you hear me? Alright, barabara kabisa. Naam, swadakta manzeni, jioni njema ambayo tena tunajizatiti kititi mbele yenyu tukiwaletea onyesho hili live kutoka Obinna TV Studios. Manze, kama unatutizama pale, tunasema asanteni sana kwa kuchagua kipindi hiki cha Obinna Show live. Stesheni namba 1 ama televisheni nambari 1 nchini, hakuna ingine kama hii. Obinna Show live tunatangulia, wengine wanatufuata. Tuanze iwake. Ni moto. Guys, nasikia huko nje kunanyesha, kuko tu che. Yani weda ni wawili wanaopendana wawili. Sawa. Dapaman ulisema ni Kiswahili. Yap, ni Kiswahili. Anasema Stacy Mutindi, very locked. Asante sana Stacy Mutindi. Happy Clara. Stacy anasema umerauka. Yes, amerauka of course. Brandon Makoshi anasema 100% Happy Clara. Dapaman ulisema ni Kiswahili. Manze, Kiswahili kitukuzwe, manake Kiswahili ni lugha ya taifa. Kile Kimombo ni lugha ambayo tunaisoma. Kimombo ni lugha ambayo tunapigwa viboko ndio tujue. Kimombo ni lugha ambayo ilikuja na wasomi, wazungu, walami. Ila sisi hapa Kenya, lugha ambayo tunastahili kusifia ama kutukuza ni Kiswahili pekee. Sawa. Unajua sisi tunapigwa kujua lugha ya watu wengine. Ni kama kupigwa kujua Kikisi. Ni kama kupigwa kusoma Kiluya. Ni kama kupigwa kusoma Kijaluo. Tena unalipia pale shuleni, unalipia ada. Ila Kiswahili, Patrick Ondiek Sifuna anasema Sharon Dyson, hi Dapaman, watching live from Busia. Asante sana watu wa Teso. Ngaleo mama no bongo lorere, mama amerudi nyumbani. Stacy Achieng, wawili wanaopendana So kabla hatujaanza hili onyesho kiurasmi, lazima tuwe na ratiba ya kufuata. Tunaanza hivi. Jackie Kings Dapaman, asante sana. Brandon Monsi watching live from Kenya, asante sana. Simon Moena live from USA, asante sana. Happy Clara. Ama Dapaman ni mhenga of course. Chambilecho wahenga hawakuhengua wakati walipoketi chini wakasema ya kwamba hayawi huwa, na hatimaye yamekuwa. Ndani tuko na wakili Willis amedonjo maberi. Tuko tao CBD kwa Pentagon. Kwa Pentagon. Yap, alasema Chela Sylvia live from Saudi, asante sana. Patrick Ondiek public demand Sifuna kwa sawa. Bosi atapanga socialite utawala locked, asante sana watu wangu utawala. Tiga Hillary mkutano from Kapenguria, asante sana manze. Ryan Brighton sema tu Kiluya hatuwapagui jamani. Live from Tusham Eldoret manze, watu wangu Eldoret of course nawapenda sana. Nasema Eldoret tunawapenda na tunawatamini kwa upendo. Sawa. Aya, Simon Mulwa, hai Pauline Simiu Njiru, ndoyo Bazu, karibu sana kiongozi.
Let's go another one. Sini kumetoka kunichange battery sasa ama? Ni kuja change battery? Aya. Fanya mambo yako.
Weka penguin. Cheza. Weka penguin.
Nikusetie frequency.
Weka tu besi. Wewe. Hapo ifunga tu ni kesi.
Naweza weka ukiongea.
Wewe mbona unataka kunimwagia unga?
Frequency.
Nijenge frequency hapo.
Ukoaje?
Mi niko salama.
Rada?
Sioni. Ni kupiga tu kasi.
Rada safi?
Rada ni safi. Ni kusukuma tu kasi. Maisha inasonga mbele.
Okay. Moyo bado nasukuma damu ama umepea kazi nyingine?
Sasa kasi ya moyo ni gani? Si ni kusukuma damu. Hawezi pea moyo tena double chance, double job. Tena yaanza kusukumana na mapenzi. Hiyo ni kudanganya moyo.
You guys need to watch Riba this Wednesday. Huyu jamaa mambo yake ilichemuka.
Imekuwa mbaya. Paka saa ina tense.
Ilikuwa mbaya.
Ile ni mbaya.
Ilikuwa mbaya mbofu.
Ile ni mbaya mbofu.
Mbaya mbofu. Magi Ndumia.
Najua dubia ni chai yenye ina sukari.
I know. I grew up with it.
Nduma atachapa. Lakini lazima tujaribu cha kuja. Dubia. Simon wa Malwa. Bozupo huna saa zingine saa nilikuwa najaribu tu. So mimi naita dubia alafu naita we Nduma.
Mpaka ende kwa HR aseme my boss is bullying me. Venye Magi anakuanga msensitive. Unajua hapa by the kwa kampuni naweza joking na wase wote nimejuanga wase kwa sensitive sana ni Korir. Korir apenangi jokes ovyo ovyo. Jackie Ogaga, Magi, nani mwingine? Davido. By the Davido pia anakaa chingi.
Sana. Na mimi. Mimi pia ni msensitive. Kidesign.
We ukwangi msensitive sana. Wewe unakuanga you are a good sport.
Kwa shule nilicheza sports. Kwa shule kwanza walking race. Hiyo ya kuchi. Vidole
soma tu comment.
Ama sijapata.
Some comment bwana.
Kevin Omwenga. Nasema ngapi Clara zipi tunakungoja sana. Sipi leo hatukunywi hata maji hapana.
Unajua Friday tuko nawe Bondo.
Tena.
Friday tuko nawe Bondo.
Yaani ni masafari baada ya masafari.
Friday tuko nawe Bondo ndani for the first time.
Kwa ndani. Karibu.
Asante sana.
Karibu sana.
Leo wewe ndio crew. Wewe ndio crew.
Mimi ni mtu huku. Karibu.
Where am I supposed to sit?
Here.
You're supposed to squeeze here, sorry.
Karibu mgeni.
Obinna, it's a beautiful studio.
Asante.
You did invite me.
No, this is well thought out.
I was swarming. I don't know why.
We haven't done any housewarming. I don't believe in housewarmings.
You believe in?
If you didn't help me build it, why would I call you to help me open
you
it?
me.
No, like general, not you. I'm saying like people. Like now, I struggle. Then I build and people come and celebrate. No. Let me enjoy with the people who help me build it. So si tuko tu. So mwana kumenyesha na tuko tu kwetu. Sasa baridi ingekuwa imachapa. I know you came to Samaki.
Yeah, and it rained.
It rained. Pale we used to have a fire hapo. There's a time I'm shooting pale nyuma nilikuwa naekewa kajiko hapa kando moshi na tuchapa na nuka kama watu wa kuchoma makaa. Yeah.
You still do those marathon
Only
sessions?
people with beautiful history like
today
that.
we are from 10 a.m.
From 10 in the morning?
And we still have 2 guests after you guys.
Are you serious?
Very. This is what we love doing, so. You're saying?
People with beautiful history like that are the one who succeed.
Yes.
Do you know one thing I admire about this guy? The day I came to appreciate you.
Yeah.
At Red Room. It's called Red Room.
Yes.
Obinna was the DJ. And doing the DJ. Proper.
Yep.
Then Obinna went to the drum set.
He also did it.
It was like a one-man show.
It was a one-man
Before
show. I did comedy, music, and dance.
He's now
and
doing
DJing.
the singing.
Yeah.
Do you know
And
he
that's-
sings?
Started with comedy.
He's actually an artist.
That
That
is
day I was
multi-talent.
I said
Yep.
this thing. Then you said I didn't even, initially I didn't know it was you. Because I walked in when you're doing the drums.
Oh,
So I was like, maybe you're waiting for him. Then it seems like, but that is him.
that's him.
Then
I was
know.
dressed differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you came out, I was like,
Ta-da! We try.
That's talent.
Thank you.
You've done well.
Thank you. That's what now makes me alive. Unaona venye nyinyi samu ukiwa pale kwa koti sasa unaandika submission, you know you are on, and then you feel alive, una sweat kama venye ulisweat kwa pikipiki ponki. Unaona venye ulisweat. Wakili deodorant dio. Piki ponki paka melodisco. Just like, and you're feeling alive.
We went to the dictionary only to find that it was not there.
It was Luo. Did Jaramogi tell them Zungus? Kenya is Maro. At Lancaster.
Kenya is
Kenya is mad.
So it was my opportunity to tell the people of Kenya that this is Pakamelo disco.
Of course.
Speak the
we
Luo
can
language.
talk in our language.
Like
Speak the Luo
unbogable.
language. Yes, speak the Luo language where it is least expected.
So now I have learned friends around.
Uone, unajua mi sasa nimebaki tu
Wale wajasoma wanaweza toka. Wapatie kinywaji tu.
walisema
Mjishughulishe.
ukienda mahali watu wanaongea Kisungu unabaki tu na yes.
Yes sir.
Yes, sir.
Kata shiba yako, yes sir.
Jaribu
And
ile
what
umejua.
with this red thing? Tell me the story behind it.
Which one?
The apron.
Sasa hii
This is a PL Nade. That's the name.
So that it doesn't go frequent.
ndiposa ni kueleza hii kuna mengi nyuma yake. Kuna mikakati. Ila kwa sasa
Kuna mkate.
Is Luya. These are Luos. Sasa Kiswahili.
But you know,
But ye Kiswahili kwake.
but you know, lazima tumwambie hii kitu zamani ungevaa ukienda safari refu. Because you may want to go inside Nyabende. Na huko lazima utoe hii yote paka chini.
Abururu.
Hii huwezi toa nusu.
Ukiendanga hapa unafanyanga aje?
natoanga yote
Ezi ndio.
Unatoa yote?
natoa
Paka
yote.
uhang mahali.
Na mtu akichukua?
Sijui nani alinitesa karibu nilete hiyo kesi kwa HR. Sasa sinatoanga naeka nje hapo nje ya msalani naingia kutoka hakuna.
So ujadari sana. Lakini kama wewe ni Mluya na sijasikia ukisema Ilmradi. Wewe ni Mluya ina.
Alishaanza na ndiposa.
Ndiposa na Ilmradi.
Is that the starting point?
Ndio nakuja.
Anakuja.
Sasa tuko na kasi yangu hapa kwanza. Karibu kwanza.
Asante sana.
Kwa salama.
Asante, niko salama.
Mimi naitwa Dapaman.
Dapaman.
Huyu ni mwendosi wangu. Sasa ndiposa nikae hapa. Yeye ndiye alini.
Sasa ni Mluya kamili.
Okay.
Funga kabisa. Ndiposa niketi hapa. Yeye ndiye aliniweka hapa, alinitoa CBD, nilikuwa navanga pampers nikitembea huko. Kwanga kama cheese.
Sasa ulikuwa unavaa pampers? Sasa amekupatia PL Nade.
Sasa heri inafunika.
Sasa in case
It's a paradox. It serves the same purpose.
Hapana. Ile ilikuwa inafunika tu sehemu nyeti pekee. Inafunika mwili
kila pale. Sasa mkono unafunika kwa nini? Mkono unafunika kwa nini?
Mkono. Nisisikie baridi.
Okay.
Anyway. Ili mradi tuendelee na kipindi.
Umetumia lugha zote za Waluya, ndiposa na Ilmradi.
Kuna vinywaji hapa, tuko na sarubati. Hizi ni sarubati na hizi alafu sasa.
Washasema hapa chenye upatie Mr. Owidi.
Wamesema chai.
Letea Owidi chai. Owidi anapendanga chai sana sana juice.
Sasa chai na juice wanakutania wapi?
Sasa alafu pia tuko na maji fufutende na maji ya asitili. Sasa naweza kuasima.
Ile fufutende ndio.
Lakini Obinna, unajua niliwacha juice.
Fufutende
ndio sparkling.
Fufutende ni yenye imetokota kidogo.
Imewekwa nini?
Ni maji tu imewekwa kwa jiko ikatokota.
Umpatie ile sparkling ama kuna sparkling?
Tuko na stili.
Umpatie stili basi.
Stili. Kwa glasi ama kwa chupa?
Kwa glasi.
Okay, sawa.
Lakini naona duka yako imeisha.
Unajua sasa customer leo wamekuwa wengi.
Ndiposa
tena tujase.
Mdosi lazima
Mdosi anafaa nitume.
Hii fridge ilikuwa imejaa last Monday. Leo analeta stock fridge. I'm like, "Hi guys,
ni jokofu."
Si fridge.
Jokofu.
Okay.
Jokofu. Ukiongea nao sasa ndio fridge.
But I'm talking to them. Excuse us, you know when Luos are conversing. Yeah, sasa huyu ukimtumanga juice anapiga yake kwanza
Kipanda.
Niliwacha.
Anakuletea tu packet.
Una kama unashika packet uko like tulikuwa na wageni wawili kwa kipindi na hawajakunywa juice. Juice ime Tio nilikuwa na Davido, Maggie.
Wacha nikufundishe. Ukikunywa glasi moja ongeza maji glasi moja. Hata jua.
Ay. Hiyo mchezo inaribia watu wengi sana ndoa. Kwanza when the married men who have like a wine bar in the house. So unapata mtu anakunywa anameka maji. Siku moja anakuja kukunywa kwa zile za.
Why ni expire? Why ni expire?
Aya. Jambo.
Yes.
Kwa salama.
Hiyo ni salamu.
Okay.
Nimepokea.
Sasa orodha ni ile.
Alishasikia the first time.
Si ndio orodha ni ile tu. Sasa nimesikia wewe unahitaji chai. Ndiposa ikwenye unataka. Unapaswa uniambie ni chai fupi ama ndefu.
Hiyo lugha sijawahi kuelewa.
Long tea or short tea?
Hapo hata watazamaji watajua tu si kuelewi, lakini bring for me a cup of tea.
Ile wale ile imeiva.
Ile imebolewa na chai ndani.
Sio tea bag.
Sawa.
Na isikuja hapa bila maziwa ndani.
Sasa hiyo ndio fupi.
Na usilete mkate.
Mugati hapana. Hata mugati haiko.
Timu?
Mugati.
Mugati haiko?
Hapa people don't come for breakfast. You just need to refresh.
Which people?
Hey.
There are people who come here to eat. They don't come here for the show.
So you're running a restaurant.
Let me tell you a very interesting story so that we start the show. Don't dismiss Ujama. So I decided we'll give him a tender of supplying a few things for the company. Unga, afanye uregorego. Juu ya mfuko wanakula sana. Then mandazi ya chai. This brother went and siagad mahindi. Ulichaga gorogoro ngapi? 20 gorogoros za mahindi.
20.
Hiyo ni 40 kgs.
Who needs 20 gorogoros of mahindi?
But ni mloya.
We don't need it here like that. Mpaka na nimesema watu wagawie kidogo kidogo because itaharibikia hapa.
Itaribika kweli.
When it is dry properly and kept
na uko na
dry
kwa
place.
nini kwa crew.
Haya. Mandazi huyu ni amestandia waluya wote. Mandazi, ulinoma mandazi ya?
1000 kumbavu.
Hata hiyo ilikuwa kidogo.
Ya 1000.
Sasa anasema ni mingi.
Zilikuwa mandazi ngapi?
Ni mingi 120.
Wewe unakula kama 50.
We are how many employees here?
No, anakula 50 mtu moja.
Trust me, he did. And even carried takeaway.
Hiyo ni
so kuna watu hapa they eat for a living.
Hiyo takeaway ndio alikuwa akitegea.
Hiyo ni dessert. Si ndio? Ukishakula ugali.
Hii kampuni kianguka mmejua nani ameangusha.
Dessert ni
sasa unaona nini mdosi? Ingebaki hapo ingaribi.
Si ndio hiyo ndio kweli.
Kuna wengine wajui matumizi ya mandazi. Sijui yeast, sukari. Mimi sinanga ugonjwa yote ya chakula.
Unakula yote, si ndio?
Chakula yenye sipendi ni kidogo.
Gani?
Sikulangi chakula tu kidogo.
Chakula kidogo ndio ukuli.
Kila
kitu nakula.
Usifikiri kidogo ni aina ya chakula.
Kidogo, chakula kidogo ndio.
Sasa anafaa kuna restaurant nyingine hapa sitaki kutaja hapa kwa show. Ukienda unajaziwa plate.
Hiyo ndio tunaenda na wewe sasa.
Kesho
nitakupeleka. Ile siku ukisikia na kutaka nikununulie lunch. Ni hapo ndio nitakupeleka.
Sasa sema hata kesho.
Dapa, tembea na Yesu.
Naenda kuleta chai.
Yeah, tembea na Yesu. Niko sawa, thank you. I have hot water, I am okay.
Yesu unanihepa.
Ndio kunywe juice yako.
Mimi niliwacha juice.
Pandisha.
Obinna, you need to be here.
I am. Check it, guys.
This is Obinna Show Live. Coming to you live from Obinna TV Studios.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back. It's Monday, yes, and it's still time for some good vibes. And inshallah, when we sit down on this platform, coming live to you, of course, from Obinna TV studios, you know we sit down with the who, we get to discuss with them the what and the why. So pay attention because class is in session. If you're watching the previous ones, we're having a little bit of good vibes, Ninini, but right now, it's going to get a little bit intelligent and intellectual and political. Why? We have two sides. There's one side that is supporting the re-election of President Ruto, so they are known as a two-term. And we have the other side that is looking to replace. And they're saying, no, we are the ones who are coming now to save the Kenyans. They are the one-term movement. We have Mheshimiwa Calvin Sowidi and, of course, Mheshimiwa Willis Otieno in the house. Makofi tafadhali. Yeah, karibuni sana, welcome. So what happened was, I interviewed this gentleman about a week ago. And the conversation was going very left. Nikamwambia, hapo umetuchezea raf. Wacha nilete mtu mupelekane na raf game. Nikanominate Joakim. Akasema, hey, usinilete watoto. Mimi sitaki watu wenye hawana facts, sijui hooligans, sijui nini. So I threw a couple of names around and then your name landed there. Akasema, huyo leta, tumenyane. Sasa fahali wawili leo wako zizi moja. So, ladies and gentlemen, in the blue corner, ding, 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 Mheshimiwa Calvin Sowidi, weighing 106 pounds, supporting two-term. So, opening submissions first. So, kidogo to introduction on your side, and the side you are in, and why on that side, and then Trudy this other side as well.
Wacha tuseme, my name is Odoyo Owidi. Hiyo Calvin sijui ulitoa kwa AI gani?
Upendi hiyo?
No.
For you?
My name is Odoyo Owidi.
Your English name?
Hiyo pengine nilikutumia M-Pesa ukapata huko ukasema basi nitaendelea kutumia.
Ukakwamia hapo. Na ulikuwa umeregister na namba ya mtu, na ID ya mtu. So you like Odoyo Owidi?
Yeah, that's my name.
Okay.
That's the one. In fact, now some people are wondering, are they really talking about the same person?
Okay.
Even he was wondering why you're calling me so.
Okay.
Sindio?
Tuongeze mheshimiwa hapo mbele.
Hapana. Odoyo Owidi.
Odoyo Owidi. Tuache tu hapo.
Hapo.
Mr. Mrs.
Hapana. Odoyo. Okay. You know, a good brand must be as short as possible.
Independent as well.
Mercedes Benz. Isiende zaidi ya hiyo.
Okay. Oh, that's nice. Oga Obinna.
Hapo. Ikienda zaidi ya hiyo,
Piki ponki.
is it Pakamulo
Pakamielo? It's a sentence. That is not a good brand.
No, you must have a name.
Hey. Okay. Two-term.
Oh, two-term, of course.
Because of why?
You know, in elections, my brother, you don't ask yourself, whom do we elect? You ask yourself, what do we vote for? We are voting for development, we are voting for governance, we are voting for everything that is good in a person. But when you go to this voting and you start saying, I want to vote for so and so, I want to vote for somebody from my village, as we just want Kenyans to vote for performance, to vote for development, to vote for good governance. That's what we want. And that's why I believe two-term is the best thing. It is also good for the future of Kenya. The future of Kenya, I build it on the premise that Kenya belongs to all of us. It will be a beautiful thing if each and every one of us has a chance to govern it, has an equal chance. But when you have people that when they are one of their own is in power, they are happy, they can tolerate everything. But when somebody else gets into power, they start complaining of things that do not even exist. They mobilize people from left, right, and center to oppose things that don't even exist. That is why I believe we need a two-term president, one that we have evaluated and seen is delivering. By the way, Obinna, you know, no president has ever delivered like Ruto. Is there any? Nobody.
Siniweke kwa kesi yako bwana. Owidi kufa kivyo.
But you are the chair of this meeting.
Yeah, but sasa usiniweke ati Obinna, I'm not supporting nobody on this side today. Kila mtu akufi kivyo ya? Wakili Willis.
Yes.
Opening submissions.
You know, today as I sit here, 700,000 young Kenyans who are supposed to graduate to go to JSS didn't transit from primary to JSS. 700,000, they're at home. As I'm sitting right here, there are so many Kenyans who are dying of preventable diseases because they don't have money to pay for health care. SHA is not working for them. They have opened WhatsApp groups, which WhatsApp groups are not contributing any money. As I'm sitting here with you today, each one of us here, him, myself, you, him, and anybody watching us, your debt stock, what you owe as an individual, is 220,000 Kenya shillings. The debt of the Republic of Kenya is now standing at 12.68 trillion Kenya shillings. Divide that by the 60 million Kenyans, it comes around 220,000 Kenya shillings for each individual, whether you are born today in the morning or you are the oldest individual in this country today. That's the state of the nation. If you are telling me two-term to continue with that debt stock, to continue with a collapsed healthcare system, to continue with a collapsed education system, that it's okay that 700,000 of our young people cannot access basic education, transition from primary to JSS, then that two-term can be good. But my position is this: the Kenyan people deserve better. Look at education. How many of our young people here are jobless? You have JSS teachers who are being paid 17,000 Kenya shillings as their salary. And how many of them, even qualified teachers, those who've gone to school, gone to university, gone to technical teacher training colleges, and are jobless? You're getting a 45-year-old teacher who is still unemployed. And you're telling me two-term? That is why Safina is different from the legacy politicians. Our primary focus is on the people. And what we promise as a campaign is this. This debt stock, the 220,000 each of you must pay, that Ruto keeps coming to you every day to raise your taxes, charges, and levies, is part of paying for that 220,000 that individually all of you owe. And even when that money was taken, it landed into people's private accounts, some in Qatar, some in the Isle of Man. But the money was taken in your name. You are the ones paying for it, in your taxes, charges, and levies. Safina will not pay any illegal debt. We will only pay the legal debt. This year alone, you are paying 2.4 trillion Kenya shillings. This financial year, you are paying 2.4 trillion Kenya shillings as debt finance. Do you know your revenue collection in the last financial year was 2.4 trillion? In other words, if you don't increase the taxes, charges, and levies, 100% of what you collected last year will have gone into debt finance. January, the last month, sorry, if you look at the National Treasury's estimates, actuals of revenue and expenditure, published in the Kenya Gazette, they paid debt of 206 billion. And in the same period, they collected tax revenue, income, was 200 billion, 202 billion to be precise. Now you're telling me, what remains for development? What remains for services? We will not pay legal debts. Number two, take that 2.4 trillion that you're using on illegal debt, apply it to social services that matter to the people. Number one, make education free from primary, secondary, TVET. If you do per capitation, it costs 265 billion. So I have 2.4 trillion that I've saved from the legal debts. Take 265 billion, put to education. Education becomes free from primary, secondary, TVET. Healthcare in this country costed, total healthcare, cost of health in this country, costed at 2023 was 158 billion. Take into account inflation and whatever adjustments, 180 billion. So I'm remaining 2.1 trillion that could have gone to pay the illegal debts. Take that money, put in healthcare. Every Kenyan will access healthcare services for free without paying a single coin. You only need your ID. Number three, we are saying do away with VAT. VAT contribution to tax band in this country is 325 billion. That is what is contributing to the high cost of living. 16% VAT. Do away with it. Give people a breather. Introduce only a 5% sales tax. The price of goods and services falls by 11%. And in the process, what you end up doing, remember, they're not paying for school fees, they're not paying for healthcare, they are paying less in terms of buying goods and services. You released more disposable income in their pockets. So they are able to spend more in the economy. When they spend more in the economy, the manufacturer must manufacture more. To manufacture more, the manufacturer must employ more people. And finally, we are saying, our fifth agenda, these Kenyans, they have great ideas. What they lack is access to capital. You go to the bank, you are told your interest rate is 18%, 20%. Today, somebody was telling me they were assessed at 25% interest rate to access a loan. That's right there, an non-performing loan. Why? Your government is borrowing illegally in the domestic market. They have crowded you out of that market. Ruto goes every day to borrow in the domestic market illegally. The Kenyan people, when they go to the market, because government is borrowing at 14%, 15% interest rate, you are told your interest rate will be 20%. You can't do anything. So your ideas will end up in the grave. You can't do anything about it. Stop borrowing the domestic market. Release that money in the domestic banks to be borrowed by Kenyans at low interest rate. Interest rates will fall. From 20%, you are now borrowing at 3% interest rate, 4% interest rate. You borrow 1 million, you are only paying 30,000 shillings as interest rate in a year. And finally, he says two-term. Where I come from, the young people interact with, Albert Ojwang is in the grave. Rex Masai is in the grave. Denzel Washington from his village is in the grave. Killed by this political administration. You want more Denzels to be killed? You want more Albert Ojwangs to be killed? We as Safina, we are saying this. The instrument of oppression, the police must be reformed in a way that is meaningful to the people. And we are proposing, we've done all these trainings to the police officers. We've changed even our constitution. We've done a retraining program. We've done a vetting. But the system has not changed. So this is a radical proposal. Change the command structure of the police. So that you say, every sub-county police commandant, the OCPD, as was previously known, becomes an elected representative elected by the people to secure them. So that is above, if he's called by a DG Lagat or anybody else to go and pick Albert Ojwang, he'll be asking, who are you? I only answer to the people who elected me, not you, DG Lagat, who is in Nairobi, who is making the phone call to grab Albert Ojwang from his mother's kitchen to go and kill him at Central Police Station. I will not do it. I don't answer to you. And we are saying that OCPD will be called a sheriff. The American system, they have the sheriff elected by the people. In the UK, they have the police and the crime commissioner elected again by the people, answerable to the people in that locality. And finally, we say in terms of police, every police station must have a civilian oversight board. Just like we have in every school, we have a board of management. In every hospital, we have a board of management. These are services. The police is meant to be a service. 10 police stations, they must all have civilian oversight boards that are responsible to oversight how that police station is functioning. You've been sent out to go and respond to a demonstration. When you went out, what were the incident reports? Why did you fire a gun? Were there fatalities? What are the circumstances? Who fired that gun? Today, if you try to do investigations on some of these deaths caused by police, they do the code blue. No policeman is willing to talk. But if you have civilian oversight, that a board of management for every police station in this country, made up of civilians in that locality, they will have the right to walk into the police station. They'll inspect how they've conducted their policing. They can go into the cells and check. This young man that you're holding here, you've held him here for 4 days. Why have you not taken him to court? The law says 24 hours. Why 4 days? This one who has injuries. Why is he still being kept in the police cell? Why is he not taken to hospital? This one that you've not admitted to Kashmir, this offense that you are charging him for, touting, this man, we know him. These are misdemeanor. Admit him to bail. That is reasonable. He will come to court. We know his home. Here is written. You can trace him. So you give power back to the people. The political system that Odoyo Owidi, my friend, supports is a political system that the policeman salutes the legacy politician. And the people is their enemy. That is why you meet a policeman, he asks you, unaenda wapi? We want to create a system where the policeman meets a civilian and he knows this is my boss. They will salute him and ask him, what assistance do you need from the police? We say, Ruto is not the alternative to this nation. He only perpetuates our continued enslavement. That is why I say he must go, and going, he is going.
Wow. Very interesting. You have taken, Willis has taken us through a process of changing the law, changing the constitution to have a better Kenya. And I don't think that has anything to do with President William Ruto. He can do it even with President Ruto being the president, changing the police to have a civilian oversight within each system there. Those he can do. But let's look at a few things that he talked about which are very interesting. I don't think there is any country in the world over that has rejected loans that they borrowed and used, that they are not paying because they are illegal.
So you're saying that's an impossibility?
That is not possible.
Well, at what point do I teach? At what point do I teach him?
So illegal
You'll ask
debt.
me illegal debt.
So that illegal debt is something that his boss came up with and started calling things illegal. I have found which country has ever rejected loans that they were illegal. In any case, do you know 65% of this majority of Kenyan loans, 65% is local, is not even from those from the outside. But I have heard him talk about we remove VAT and said that VAT is a very small amount of money. Do you know the actual money that we collect in taxes in this country from his own statement is 2.4 trillion. I initially thought it was 2.6 trillion. Remove VAT again, it will remain either 2.2 or 2.1 something. The counties alone take 500 billion, that is 0.5 of a trillion. The recurrent expenditure, the salaries we pay in this country is 900 billion. Are you saying that we are going to do development and the government is going to run on that, whatever is left? You know, we can't just talk because we want to sway people into voting out somebody. Majority of the things he's talked about government were things that were happening even in the previous ones, and he was an adult then and he kept quiet. His boss was an adult then and he said nothing. So we can't come here and say the police should be reformed. This is the same police service that we had all the way from Kenyatta 1, Moi, Kibaki, and so on. Now that President William Ruto is in office and his boss doesn't believe that such a person should be in office because they took an oath in 1969 that a person outside their community should not be. He means being loyal to his boss, not to Kenyans. But also, I must also tell you something which I want to go to before anything else. And that is Albert Ojwang, Rex Masai, and Denzel. There is something in propaganda called the false flag attack, where you kill your own person and blame it on the opponent. And recently, when I was running a show called Face to Face with Gen Z, I asked them, I want you to tell me the number of days that we had the post-election violence in 2007 and the number of people who died. And in 2013 and 2017 and the Gen Z of 2024. Do you know they discovered, with their own mathematics without my intervention, that more people died per day in 2007, in 2013 and 2017 than the ones that died per day during the Gen Z protests. But because the media has ganged up with people who believe others should not be in power, they are promoting it like Rex Masai was a bigger human being than Baby Pendo and the rest who died during other protests when other people were in power. We are not going to accept this idea. Now let us look at this Albert Ojwang thing. People have believed that the police brought Albert Ojwang and killed him in the police station. I think we need to think outside the box. A person of the power of a DIG, if he wanted to kill Albert Ojwang, I don't think he would send 6 policemen officially armed in official car, meet the parents, arrest him physically, take him to the nearest police station, record it in OB, bring him to Nairobi, go to Central, record again in OB, then move into the police station and kill Albert Ojwang. I don't think that is what was going to happen. Ojwang's death was a case of false flag attack, was a case of let's kill Ojwang and blame the government. And let me tell you how it happened, because you are going to argue that it happened in a police station. That is the argument that everybody is telling me. These police stations, people have been sodomized even without the OCS knowing. Because in those stations, there is a man called the sentry officer and there is the duty officer. If you bribe them nicely and you have somebody in the cells, they can introduce for you tags in the cell, they do their job and they go out and nobody will ever get to know. You remember there was somebody who was sodomized in Mombasa. It wasn't by the police. It was something arranged by a politician. You remember there was Natembeya telling you how that the MP who died latest was almost being taken to the police station to be sodomized. So this is what happened about Ojwang. You will notice that there is a media house whose headlines were being faked for a very long time. And they were not complaining. They were writing false headlines. Let's just say for the Standard. False again and again and again. And these were sent to bloggers. And the bloggers were using these headlines to write their blogs, to write their social media posts. And they knew it will make them one of these days be arrested. And they had planned. If they are brought to Central, all they need to do is bribe the person with the key to the cells. They introduce criminals in there. But the police is lied to, he will just be disciplined kidogo. But the people are being told, do not leave him alive. The next morning when the police wakes up, they do not know how to defend that scenario because it has happened within their custody and what happened was illegal. So Ojwang was arrested because he had posted something which he read on a fake Standard newspaper headline about the DIG. The DIG, being the good person with which he was, he went and recorded a statement formally. The guy was arrested formally. What he didn't know was that Ojwang was being set up for murder so as to blame the government. And this is something that happens. So Ojwang is brought to the cells. 2 people are introduced into that cell. And then they assault Ojwang to death. In the morning, the police had no time even to think. And there's something he said here about there's camaraderie in the police service. They are always defending each other. So I can tell you for free, the government nor the DIG had nothing to do with Ojwang's death. Remember Denzel. Denzel trended the whole day on the day he died. The whole day we were seeing Denzel and another lady, a Kikuyu lady on the road, Thika Road. Then at night he disappears. Then after a day or 2, he appears in a quarry, dead. And we are very convergent thinkers. We think that it must be the police. And because the media is largely compromised, they say Denzel has been killed. Why would a government kill such a miniature person when there are bigger people to kill? Even Denzel had nothing to do, even the organization of Gen Z protests. Why didn't they go for somebody organizing the Gen Z protests? So Denzel was another case of false flag attack. You kill and blame the government because you know people are convergent thinkers. They will not think outside the box. They will blame. Even the case of Rex Masai, I have no idea how he died. But I want to tell you, he's not the only person who died during protest. People have died during protest. They have been killed by individual policemen. There is no day the government from where I sit or the senior officers command those who have been sent to quell riots that shoot so and so, shoot so and so. So this is what we call the false flag attack. There was a girl who was shot in I think, Kiambu, Ndumberi. Remember? Who was studying in the house doing. Do you know, later it turned out their house was 2 kilometers away from where the protests were, from where the gunfire was. How did it happen? But the greatest thing is you should have listened to the testimony of the mother. The mother told the Matiang'i who was seated there, the Kalonzo who was seated there, and that opposition brigade, that I hope you will never do something like this again for political reasons. That is still available on YouTube. You can check what the mother said. And said, are you sure you do not have a way of preventing this from happening? So we are living in a society where people are lazy and convergent thinkers. Today, if something happens to Rigathi Gachagua or Matiang'i or who, even if it is done by one of their own, they will directly blame it on the government without a second thought. As if Kenyans have never been able to kill their political opponents. As if Kenyans have never been able to kill their enemies by themselves. It can't always be the government. A government is not something you can do anything with secretly because it consists of so many people.
Let me
That
ask you a
one will
question.
leak. Yes,
Let
I
me
will
ask
give you an
question.
answer.
If Ojwang was your son, would this still be your reasoning?
That is not reasoning.
Will that still
I am
be your
telling you
argument?
things that happen.
Okay.
You
Will that still
know,
be
you know, human beings, Obinna, are largely very emotional. So an emotional issue, you just look for someone to blame. For example, if a motorcyclist collides with a motorist, you will most likely find everybody who gets to the scene will blame the motorist. Even when it was the motorcyclist who was wrong. People always want somebody bigger to blame and somebody smaller to sympathize with. That is natural of society we live in. So, because Ojwang died and it was painful and it was emotional issues impede judgment.
Okay.
Let me say this.
Yes.
Rex Masai shot outside Parliament on June 20th. Abdi Kadir, shot by police, died on July 16th, 2024, after being paralyzed. Eric Shieni, a university student, shot in the head outside Parliament on June 25th, 2024. Kennedy Onyango, a 12-year-old child, shot and killed there in Rongai on June 25th. Ibrahim Mukamau Wanjiku, 19-year-old boy, killed. Eric Chalo Mutisia, shot near Parliament on the 25th of June. David Chege, Bensley Kamau, Francis Njuguna, the list goes on.
Just tell us the number.
No, the total number comes 65.
Okay.
Passed by my list. But what makes me sad listening to the government propagandist is that he actually thinks that the numbers, that because there are 65, that's okay. Even if it was only one person killed by police, that is bad enough. That the police who went out to, number one, interfere with a lawful protest provided for under Article 37 in our Constitution. That those police are okay. They can kill.
He feels like the ones who died in 2007 and 2013 and 2017 are more than the ones who died in 20.
Not I think.
Let me tell you, I want to put him in context on that. I'm in court today, here. I'm in court on Baby Pendo killed in 2018.
Correct.
And Baby Pendo, a 2-month-old baby, bludgeoned to death on the head by a policeman. In Kisumu, Nyalenda, Kanyakwar, Obunga, Nyawita, Kondele, 81 people were killed during that period. I'm in court fighting for justice for those victims. Do you know what the administration has done? The police commanders who had been charged under the command responsibility principle, there were 12 of them. The administration has dropped charges against 8. The senior commanders who are responsible, who are in control of those units, they've left 4 juniors. And they're trying to say now, the commanders who are giving the commands to kill will become the witnesses against their junior 4 officers. How do you charge a junior officer on the command responsibility when that junior does not have command? In fact, the charges were preferred before the last elections. When they got to power, dropped 8 of the commanders, left 4 junior officers. Let me say this, Odoyo Owidi, it is painful.
I think.
Let me finish. You had your time. You had your time. You had your time.
I'm not going to stop you.
I gave you 10 minutes.
I'm not saying I stop you. I'm just asking Obinna. Let's talk maybe for 2-3 minutes so that you can answer all the questions.
Okay, because you had several that I'm going to respond.
I didn't even finish the response to his questions.
You mentioned.
I didn't even finish.
You mentioned the issue of. Let me take you to VAT. You mentioned VAT. If you took time to understand me, I said they will not pay school fees now. Your tax money will go to school fees. That money remains in your pocket. You will not pay for healthcare. That money remains in your pocket. You will not pay 16% VAT, you pay 5% sales tax. The extra 11% remains in your pocket. What it means is this: we've empowered you economically. Your disposable income has increased. So if you're buying 1 loaf of bread, let me explain to you in a way that Karen Nyamu can understand. If you are buying 1 loaf of bread for your family.
That was unnecessary.
you can now buy
Necessary straight
2
bullet.
loaves of bread for your family. So the bread baker must bake more bread. And to bake more bread, he must employ more people. The consumption of bread will increase. So government will end up collecting more in taxes. So with 16% punitive VAT that you are collecting 325 billion, with this our proposed intervention, your collection tax band of sales tax in 2 years, you'll be collecting based on actual estimates. You'll be collecting 500 billion from the same tax band. The border that was charging 50 shillings, 100 shillings, and people are not using his border because of the reduced cost of fuel. You've taken away 15% VAT. The price of fuel goes down. He can now tell his customer, stop walking to work. Pay me 50 bob if you can't afford 100. And because this customer has more disposable income in his pocket, he will spend more on his transport. The farmer who plows hires a tractor to plow, and now the price per acre for plowing is 5,000 because of the increased cost of fuel. With a reduced cost of fuel, per acre will come down to even 2,500. So the farmer will tell his family members who now he's been using as hand plowers for the family, kids are delaying to go to school because they have to go to the shamba first, that now because I can afford, I have more money in my pocket that could have gone to your school fees, I can now hire the tractor. If anything, the price per acre has now gone down. So you will even see an increase in the consumption of fuel. And the more we consume, the more you collect as tax. I believe that simpler way is easily understandable by a professor and anybody else. And I conclude by saying this. Odoyo Owidi,
yes.
Jimmy Wanjigi supported Raila Odinga in 2017 against Uhuru Kenyatta. In 2017. Odoyo Owidi here was supporting Uhuru Kenyatta in 2017. If you are trying to tell me about some what, you want to tell me Jimmy didn't know Raila was a Luo in 2017 when he was fighting and Uhuru was coming to kill him in his house for supporting Raila Odinga and NASA. And you, who was supporting Uhuru Kenyatta, you know he was a Kikuyu and there was an oath which had been taken. These are things that legacy politicians used to gaslight Kenyans. Let's ignore this nonsense. People support ideas. And Jimmy supported Raila Odinga based on what Raila presented at that time. He was the best person at that time for the country, and he gave himself out to support him for the ideas Raila Odinga represented. He didn't see him as a Luo.
Okay.
I am in Safena and I am supporting Jimmy Wanjigi, not because of the tribe he comes from, but because of the ideas, the feast agenda that he represents, and our grid economic model, supply-side economics.
Question that he also mentioned that those would like you to touch on. Illegal debts. He said that is a theory that your party leader came up with. What do you mean illegal debts?
Let me explain to you. That's a very good question. In fact, thank you for
And he said there's no country that has always...
I want to tell you, in 2014, and everybody watching us, Google, in 2014, the Kenyan government took $2 billion from the Eurobonds. In the same 2014, a country called Mozambique took $2 billion. They were calling it tuna bond. When Raila Odinga made noise to trace this money, these 2 Eurobonds you've taken, 2 billion, where is it? In fact, Raila said, I am coming to occupy national treasury. Rotich released the SWIFT transfers to confirm that the money was received. The first SWIFT transfers accounted for 1 billion. 650 million used to pay an old debt that Kibaki had left. 350 million here is a SWIFT transfer, get into the Central Bank of Kenya Exchequer account. Raila said, good, 1 billion accounted for, I accept. But where's the other 1 billion? Rotich refused to release it. Raila gave a statement at 4 p.m. in the evening. Tomorrow morning, I'm at Treasury with my people. We are going to occupy. That night at 12 midnight p.m. a.m., Henry Rotich, the then CS Treasury, released the SWIFT transfers, only that Kenyans forget. And they were redacted, showing money coming from JP Morgan to the receiving account was redacted in black. It's an account in Qatar. So money left JP Morgan to somebody's private account. That money, the Kenyan people are paying for it today. It is odious, it is illegal, because the laws in Kenya say you only borrow for development and you only borrow for parliamentary approval, with parliamentary approval. So any debt taken without parliamentary approval and that is not tied to any project, we shall not pay it. I said Mozambique. He asked me which country. Why I said Mozambique, the time we took Eurobond, the same Mozambique took tuna bond, 2 billion. They went to court in Mozambique and they said, this tuna bond, $2 billion US. It's illegal debt because it was not taken for the benefit of the people of Mozambique without following our laws. Their court said, don't pay it. And they did not pay it. Consequences? Credit Suisse collapsed. That was a big conglomerate bank. It collapsed. Its executives are in jail as we speak. The then finance minister in Mozambique is in jail as we speak. The then president's son, President Gebuza's son, who was the one part of the financial rangers, is in jail as we speak. The head of intelligence in Mozambique, who are doing all of these things, in jail. So if somebody has taken money illegally without following the laws of the republic, that money, that debt is odious. It is odious to the people. And right after the tuna bond scandal, Malaysia won MDB. Same thing. JP Morgan was forced to refund some of the money back to Malaysia because the debts were taken illegally and taken to people's private pockets. The scandal is still on. Malaysia, they are investigating. The then prime minister who oversaw all of that is in jail. But legacy politicians will start telling you that, oh no, no country can ever do it. You cannot do it. See, we'll be blacklisted in the national market. Scarce tactics. The national market operates on the premise of the rule of law. For me, the only consequence I know when we don't pay this illegal debt is that the Kenyan people will be 2.4 trillion shillings richer. Money that could have gone outside will be available to us. And that money, we've told you as Safina, we'll put it to education, primary, secondary, TVET. We'll put it to healthcare, 180 billion. We'll reduce your VAT, introduce only 5% sales tax, retain that money in your pockets.
Odoyo Owidi,
Let me tell you something, my brother.
Class is in session.
Do you think that Safina started existing when President William Ruto came to power? They existed when Uhuru took that so-called odious debt. I never hear Wanjigi saying, this is odious debt, we are not going to pay it. So all these statements you hear, these are supposed to hoodwink the public that there's something that can be done. I do not understand why Ruto's 2-term is being tied to a loan that was illegally taken by Uhuru Kenyatta in 2014. So if you really honestly want to talk about 1 term for Ruto, blame him for the things he's supposed to have done, not odious debts that were taken by Uhuru Kenyatta in 2014. Because you see, these people talk about government, this government, that, as if Ruto has been the head of government since 1963. No. Even this idea of Sijui, the debt has increased from 8.9 trillion to now 12 trillion under Ruto. My friend, debts incur interests. And we all know that 65% of that debt is local, which earns interest at about 12%. So even without Ruto taking a single cent, it will increase to even beyond that 12%. So this idea that you hear people walk onto TV and said, oh, you know, Uhuru left it at 8.9, it is now at 12.9, so Ruto has borrowed 3 trillion. That is being mathematically illiterate, being financially illiterate. But let me just answer this question, because if you start saying, okay, you mean those things that are said, you want them to be left unresponded to. They must be responded to, Obinna.
Please do, please
Yes. So, you know, Willis is saying that I was supporting Uhuru in 2017. Let me tell you, I was in ODM in 2017, and I was actually in every media house supporting Raila that he was supporting, and he knows it. So let's not go there.
I'm talking of 2017, not 2022. You are supporting Uhuru Kenyatta.
I have never.
When you are the chairperson of Lake Basin Development Authority, you are supporting Uhuru Kenyatta. Let's be factual. Fact check. You are not supporting Raila Odinga 2017. I was Raila Odinga's campaign manager. I know who he was supporting. I know who were the surrogates. He was not one of them.
Have you finished?
Odoyo Owidi.
I have allowed you to borrow my time because I didn't want to stop you. But remember, I was appointed the chairman of Lake Basin Development Authority, after the handshake in 2018 in June. And at that time, Uhuru was already president. So I was not supporting him. I was nominated to that position to Uhuru by Raila, who took my name to Uhuru. Raila would never take the name of an enemy who supported his opponent to be appointed anywhere. So I was appointed in 2018, not 2017. 2017, it was Tuju. And before that, it was Onyangolo. So you cannot have my facts better than I have them. And I have no reason to refuse if I was supported Uhuru. No, I have no reason to refuse because now I'm supporting Ruto and I don't deny it. So let's also go about the people you said the commanders were released. Let me tell you, once you have that gun and you have left the police station and you have reached the streets, every responsibility of whatever is done by that gun outside the law is yours, not your commanders. So if the courts decided to release those commanders, don't blame the executive, don't blame the ex-president. Because, you know, the noise that was being made after the protest in 2017, 2013 and all those things was simply arrest somebody so that we see. So even charging commanders, I think it was a big mistake. A commander is there in the station where you know the police standing orders. You know what to do with that gun to protect life and property and yourself. And when you go misbehaving with it, you take personal responsibility with what you do with that gun. So when they were released, they were lawfully released. Now, my brother, this thing of Eurobond, President William Ruto has never taken a single cent from any Eurobond and misused. It was Uhuru Kenyatta. And you said nothing, you did nothing, your boss said nothing and did nothing. Now, people keep on reminding me that, oh, you say the Kikuyus took an oath in 1969 not to support anybody else, but oh, Wanjigi supported Raila Odinga and he knew. Let me tell you, every political formation has a person from every part of it. Even today, as much as Rigiji goes everywhere disparaging the Luos, he has so many Luos in his political formation. He has so many of them. He used to come to Siaya and tell us how we don't have shares in government, but he has them. Even though Wanjigi supports the 1969 oath, in his system, he has Willis Otieno, who believes that when Wanjigi succeeds, he will benefit. Those people are always there. Even Raila Odinga, even at the height of his hatred by the Kikuyu community, he had his lawyer was Kikuyu. That happens. If we do not call tribalism by name, we will never deal with it in this country. If you read the social media and everywhere else, the people who literally froth in the mouth when they hear Ruto are not people from his community. They are people from elsewhere. So tribalism, we can't run away from it. That is why you see when Raila Odinga goes to an election, the Luos vote for him 89%. And they vote for Uhuru 92%. And the Kikuyu vote for Uhuru 92%. And if we can't see that as tribalism, then we'll never see anything. So let's just agree that tribalism exists in Kenya. Let's just agree that an oath was taken in 1969. Let's just agree that a meeting was held in Limuru 3 conference, which was said, if we take back to power, nobody will touch it again. Let's just agree these things.
Obinna, one thing we must say is this. You know me, I like being truthful.
Okay.
And I fact check people. From 11 November 2015, Odoyo Owidi used to be a columnist in the Star.
Yes.
And I want you to go and look at all the articles he used to write. And I'm beginning from 11 November 2015. This is the first headline article that he wrote. Kenya, Uhuru's election 2017 is inevitable. Now, he's lying to us.
And when he finished,
wait, let me finish.
Odoyo. Anga konyi na ngonya.
Let him finish, then I will tell you.
Tini beru enonga. So receipts are flying
and
left,
there are
like
many of such articles. Just a simple Google search shows you this man was Uhuru's #1 supporter. And by the way, I don't fault him for supporting Uhuru. That's a democratic right.
Okay.
What I was simply calling out is the gaslighting on tribe and...
I want you to get a similar article in 2017.
Wait,
I want you to get one.
Wait, let me finish. You love your time. So that don't tell me that we are based on this. That's why Safina is rejecting these legacy politicians and their surrogates. Because they are used to dividing Kenyans along tribes. Odoyo Owidi will come here and tell you how Luos are happy because Mbadi is finance minister. Who cares?
Don't
If
say
the
what I will
economy-
say. I haven't said it.
No, who cares if you're a finance minister and right outside your home, people are dying of hunger. Kids are not going to school. Safina is about the ideology. How do we make this economy work for all Kenyans?
Okay.
We don't care about individuals.
Now,
We care about
let me throw a spanner in the works. So you've said him and the other people are saying one term. They keep accusing President William Ruto of like the Eurobond. You've used the example of Eurobond. The money that he didn't even take, it was Uhuru Kenyatta.
Yes.
His predecessors, rather, right? Now, there's something that I want to introduce here. So in President Ruto's administration, he has spent about 89 billion Kenya shillings.
Yes.
In under 4 years. And this is more or less, if you compare to Uhuru's 10-term period, Uhuru also spent about a similar amount of money,
In 10 years.
90 billion in 10 years. President Ruto has spent 89 billion in 4 years.
that is spending in State House. Be clear.
Yes, yeah. In State House, the runnings, kuna chai, kuna gazeti, kuna wageni, kuna nini, kuna kujenga gypsum, nini, and all of that. What would you say about that?
Before I say anything about that, I want to tell Willis. In 2013, after the nomination of ODM, we parted ways with Raila. In 2016, towards the end, we were buddies with Raila up to the election and through. So that one, you know. So don't read anything 2014 and 15 and bring it here. This thing is a seesaw game. There is no time, I have never failed to support Raila when we are going to the elections.
Okay.
Now, when that is sorted out, let me tell you about how propaganda works, my brother. There are even people who have told us, Ruto is wasting money. Moi only used 1.2 billion in State House in 24 years. And it is true. Why do you think it is true? The value of money then and what he did with the money. Umesikia? Do you know that money that Uhuru used in State House in 10 years, the so-called, is it 9 billion?
90 billion.
90 billion. Do you know Ruto can even use it in 6 months to build another State House? So expenditure follows functions. Today, when you look at State House, does it look like what Uhuru used to live in? There are 4 new State Houses that have been built across the country, Homa Bay and many others. 4 new. Today, if you walked into State House through Gate D, the development that you will find going on behind there are on another level. And those things the contractors have to be paid certificates as we go on. The functions that used to be in Arambe House, during Ruto, they were transferred to State House. So when that budget goes high, we must understand, we don't just look at absolute figures.
No, guys are thinking, is upgrading State House a necessity if other things are not?
Let's
We have nurses striking, we have teachers striking, and then we use 89 billion to upgrade State House rather than use it in another function that is more pressing at the moment. That is now where some of the arguments are coming from.
The same way we are upgrading the old Rironi Mausamit Road, is the same way we are upgrading State House. State House is the reception of the Republic of Kenya.
Okay.
We can't have State House looking like an old colonial house because some people will use it as a campaign tool. We can't. So before you come and tell us that Uhuru used only this, when that was 10 years earlier, Uhuru used this, so Ruto must not use more. I think we need to ask, what has Ruto done with this? Because you may find that 90 billion was used for Glenfiddich and such drinks throughout that time. But this is a guy who has renovated State House, built a new pavilion in State House, is building an office block in State House. That means we are transferring what used to be in Arambe House to State House. And people are complaining. And you know, in Kenya, we work with budgets. So you don't come and say that money should have been used for food. Kenya has a budget approved by parliament. This is what is going to go to State House. This is what is going to go to education. This is what is going to go to health. And that reminds me, when Willis was talking about SHA's Jui has failed. Let me tell our audience, and Willis also, SHA is not a medical facility. SHA is an insurance facility that pays for medical bills. It is an underwriter of health. So if you walk into Homa Bay and find there is no medicine and find there are no doctors, you don't blame SHA, you blame the county government of Homa Bay. So I have had people going to, I went to the hospital, I wasn't treated, there were no doctors, there were no nurses, there was no medicine, there was no facility. Those have nothing to do with the SHA. Or my name wasn't in the register. It wasn't there because your governor didn't remit your payments there. Your employer didn't remit your contributions. But if you come and wholesomely blame the government that SHA is not working because I couldn't get treatment in hospital, please find out why. Get the right place to go to get it. In fact, when I did last week the SHA registration, did you know that by the population of Nyeri, Nyeri has the highest percentage of people registered in SHA? And yet that is where Rigathi Gachagua comes from, who is walking everywhere saying, oh, SHA is not working, SHA has failed, Ruto has failed. When you want to replace a person and say it is one term, it is very easy. What you need to do is tell us what you are going to do differently. Then we see if what you are going to do differently is worth us electing you. That when you collect every mistake the government has made since 1963 and blame it on one person and say he must have 2 terms. And even these things you want to tell us you're going to do, these crimes, the other presidents committed them and never spoke a word.
Hi, Mr. Owidi.
Yes, sir.
Just so that we outline a few things, so that at least now tusikue hapa mpaka kesho. Last time you said them, but I just want you to take us the pointers and then I will tackle them. The things that this government or this regime has done well.
Exactly.
What they have delivered.
Exactly.
Number one.
Let me tell you. Let's just
say the names and then
let's just deal with. Let's just deal with the big,
what we can.
Let's
see.
just deal with the big 4 agenda.
Okay.
That Uhuru brought up and never did a thing.
Now I want to talk about what President Ruto has done.
I'm telling you, I'm going to use that big 4 agenda template to insert Ruto's. He came with housing. He went out of office with no complete housing projects.
Okay.
Today, you know what President William Ruto has done in housing.
Okay.
The other one of the big 4 agenda during Uhuru was universal health care. Okay. I personally sat in the stadium in Kisumu as we celebrated Uhuru for introducing universal health care. He went out of office with Kenyans not having universal health care. Today, President William Ruto introduced SHA, and people don't understand it. That very SHA has NHIF in it with a new name called SHIF. Besides that, there are more other things that have been introduced in that universal health care that now it covers 31 million people up from the 14 million it used to cover under NHIF.
Okay.
And the people have this bad manners of when criminals we have in this country owning hospitals have stolen from SHA, and then you see the headline, 11 billion SHA scam, then you want to blame the government for theft that are done by Kenyan known criminals. Then there was manufacturing that was to be done. Uhuru left office without anything manufacturing helped. What has President William Ruto done? There are many EPZ zones that have been introduced in every county. And they are being built. And now it is upon the people there to bring their own small manufacturing company. The government has put up the infrastructure.
Infrastructure being in the EPZ
those zones.
So what's the infrastructure really? Like there's a house, there's a
yes, they are built. There are structures built. They are there throughout the country.
Like for example, where?
In Homa Bay we have one. Okay. In Kitui there was one launched. In Kisii and Migori they were launched.
An EPZ zone.
Yes.
Okay.
They are clearly not called EPZ, but they are manufacturing like a place where people can manufacture goods, put up factories, put up industry and manufacture. We are going to what is called food security. That was also in Uhuru's big 4.
Okay.
Do you know there was something called Galana Kulalu?
Yes.
Kibaki tried and abandoned it. Uhuru failed. Ruto succeeded and it is green, beautiful with maize. But that is not all that he did. Ruto came up and said, we are not going to have to subsidize food for Kenyans every time there's hunger. What we do is subsidize for them the production of food, subsidize for them fertilizer, help them. And that is what changed this country. And that is what brought unga from the 250 per 2 kilograms bag that Uhuru left and brought it to almost 100 bob. Those are things that President William Ruto had done. But now let us look at the individual projects. You and me know that now we are having Rironi Mau Summit Road being done. That would be the biggest project ever done in this country since 1963. We have the Bomas of Kenya International Convention Center. That will be bigger than the KICC that Jomo Kenyatta did many years ago. We have Talanta Stadium. That will be bigger than what Moi left as so-called Kasarani. We are having 2 referral hospitals, national, one in Eldoret and another one in Nyeri, and I don't know, there are a few elsewhere. Those are things being done by President William Ruto. If you want to look at Uhuru's legacy, under those things you don't find. You probably come in a place where when Christmas is nearing, you start wondering whether you are going to travel by road, by air, or by rail. Because if you don't choose correctly, you are going to sleep on the road 2 days or more. But that is the problem that President William Ruto has come to solve. These other people they are talking about replacing Ruto, none of them has even told us what they would have done differently. One of them even told us that we are being lied to. There is no construction going on the Rironi Mau Summit. I personally drove there all the way to Naivasha, and I was convinced something is going on. Now, west of the Rift Valley has 42% of Kenyans. Yet, the road that is linking you to that road was a single lane on each side of the yellow line. The railway that was linking you to that side of the country was a meter gauge railway that was obsolete. No train was using it. So we were all squeezing ourselves into these 2 narrow transport channels, and nobody thought about it. In fact, when an opportunity came to build the first long-distance dual carriageway, where did Uhuru build it from? From Luko Kichakani to Nyeri, a place called Marwa. That is what he did. He never thought that he could have done it between Nairobi and Mombasa first. He never thought that he could do it in the corridor to Malaba first. And when I say this, people call me a tribalist. Let me be one, but let me correct Kenya for posterity. Let me correct Kenya for everyone coming in the future. Okay. So these are the things that will change this country. Okay. These are the journeys, these are the routes to Singapore. Singapore, we are not going to go physically like the opposition is making Kenyans believe. Singapore is that we are going to live as well as the Singaporeans do live.
Okay.
Obinna, am I still in this show or you forgot about him? He's spoken for 30 minutes and I'm very patient.
No, he was just laying out these things that now I want to tackle. I'll be mentioning and you tackle them one by one.
We have not even been here for 30 minutes.
So,
no, you've done 30 yourself.
So he says President Ruto has delivered on housing that Uhuru Kenyatta failed.
Let me answer. Number one, I don't hold brief for Uhuru Kenyatta. He was a failure just like William Ruto. That must go on record. Yeah, he was not a failure like William Ruto.
No, I was talking to viewers, not you.
Let me finish. Then number two, we say this. You know, even if I was to speak for Uhuru Kenyatta, his housing program, which he was doing, those Pangani units and other places, he was charging Kenyan people housing levy to do it. These ones, what they're doing, the land belongs to the people. He goes to the people to collect the money to build their houses. Then he goes back to the people to sell to them their houses. That's an oxymoron. Go to Kilimani here. Even here in Westlands. How many houses are empty? Apartments. These people don't even know what the problem is. The Kenyan.
Old kidogo tu. Net is gone. Or battery? Oh.
Okay. So when you look at that, you build houses using people's money, build it on their public land, then you sell it to them. That's an oxymoron. And I was telling you, in Westlands, Kilimani, across the city, there are very many empty apartments. The problem is not a question of availability of housing. The problem is that people don't have money. They are responding to their own problem. Because they're not even giving those houses for free anyway.
Okay.
They are selling them. So what we should be talking about is this. What intervention will Safina do? Very simple. Stop borrowing for domestic market. Obinna, if you go to the bank today, you'll be told your mortgage interest rate 20%. Why? Because government is borrowing that domestic market at 14% interest rate. Stop borrowing the domestic market. The banks will come here hawking loans like confetti, interest rate at 3%. With access to that capital, Obinna and our viewers, they'll be able to afford these houses because now they have money, they have access to credit. But you see, legacy politicians and their surrogates, they believe in Father Christmas politics, demand-side economics, where I'm the one who has, so I just go around doling. I give you this, I give you this, I give you this, I give you that. We'll do it differently. If you notice, although it doesn't mention anything about the feast agenda of Safina, because that now is not about legacy politics. That is about the people. And the people being empowered in a way that the politician is not the supremo. It is the people who become the supremo. All the things he has told you William Ruto has done, sijui Shifsha, sijui health, Summit Rironi, you can do all of that. Sijui Bomas of Kenya, which was even a PPP, I don't know why he's mentioning it here. It was their project. Next they'll tell us about Expressway. Look at the net effect of governance. As a political administration, your responsibilities are only twofold. Two things. The main one is economy and security. They've been sending people with balaclavas to abduct and kill our young people. The DPP has withdrawn so many corruption cases against those who had been charged with corruption, who are serving their political establishment. So security, zero. Okay. Then come to economy. More and more Kenyans are poor today than they were last year. More graduates are unemployed this year.
The universal health care is saying they've delivered.
He's telling you that they've employed, they've registered 31 million Kenyans. Registering. Even me, if you told me to go and register 31 million Kenyans, I can register it. But are they accessing healthcare services? When every day, everybody watching us, I'm sure if you go to your WhatsApp group, there's a family collecting funds for healthcare. People are not saying that the hospitals are not existing. They are there. The hospitals are there. It is the question of the cost. And Safina, we are saying in our feast agenda, let's use the money that these people are spending on paying illegal debts, put it in healthcare, that no Kenyan will ever die because they didn't have money to pay for health. You asked a very simple question here, that they've used that 89 billion shillings this on State House. That is almost three quarters of what I was saying we will go into healthcare. For free, for everybody. Has been spent for the comfort of one person. He's telling you Kenyatta used to drink in that State House. That's why he was spending the 9 billion. William Ruto is spending it to build a church. Was that a priority to the people of Kenya? Prioritization. This man is building his own vanity projects to satisfy his own ego. There's AIC Milimani right next to State House. Who stopped it from going there? The other side we have...
okay, he's built the EPZ zones.
Good. Go to Siaya, where I come from. Gotakara. Anybody in Siaya now, go to Gotakara. That's where the EPZ zone of Siaya is. Special economic zone, they call it. It is overgrown. There's nothing, not a single machinery that you can talk about. Go to even the one of Homa Bay. They could even have spent time to improve on the KIE facility that's in Homa Bay. Those special economic zones are nondescript.
So they are not functional?
They are not, most of them are not. Go to the Kisumu one that is next to in Miwani. It's not Miwani, it's next to Moroni. Nothing. And where they miss it is this. Their model is demand-side economics, that I'm telling you. Government thinks it's for the Christmas to dole out, I'm building for you a factory, I'm building for you. That's not the work of government. Get out of domestic borrowing. Let our economic growth be private sector driven. So that me, from CIA, if I have access to capital, I can go to the bank, get a loan at 3% interest rate, I go and put up a fish processing plant in Uyawi Beach. Or I go and put up a potato value addition plant in Kabondo, where it comes from, next to where it comes from. But government cannot do these things. That is why we move to, as we advocate for supply side economics, where you reduce taxes, reduce government bureaucracy, and the growth is private sector driven. You and I, even these houses they're talking about. Why is government building houses? It's Obinna here, who should be going to the bank, get a mortgage at 3% interest rate, You go and say, I'm going to put up Kwetu style hostels at Rongo University. Willis can go and do the same at Jaramogi Oginga University. So their model cannot work. And
Food
all of us,
security.
food security, somebody tells you, food security.
There's Galana Kulalu.
That one that failed the entire last year. That even, in fact, the interesting thing about Galana Kulalu that they're not telling you. You know, in the entire world, there's a country called Israel. There's a country called Israel. There's only one area they've failed. This one, Galana Kulalu. This one here, when they tried doing it,
Galana Kulalu is not functional?
the Israelis tried doing something, a project with them. It failed.
When?
Now they brought in, was it Twigger? There was this other company that took it and abandoned it also when they came into power. Abandoned it. They are planting green grams there now that even last season failed. They are trying this season. What? Tell me any food you've seen that have come, this one packaged from Galana Kulalu, that now we are selling you things. Tell me. I can go to Siaya now, and let me give you an example. Go to Galana Kulalu, I'll take you to Siaya, Sirio, rice mills. I can show you, last year, since that guy moved in, a private investor moved in, you can find Sirio rice being sold in the market. We can see it. Show me that product that is branded Galana Kulalu. Show me, if it exists.
Aya. Rironi Marusamit Road. A lot of people say it is hogwash, but it is true, it is being constructed. We've seen all the way from Abo to Limuru, all the way. I was in Nakuru last week. It goes all the way.
You know, I told you, I don't know the nature of the project that is being done because number one, there was never any advertisement. I don't know what project, how far it's going. I don't know if it's an expansion of the road or it's a new road being done. I don't know.
Some new road being done on the side.
So I don't know.
Okay.
If it's an expressway, that
it's
as
not
was
express.
initially somebody had proposed. Remember there was a time that said they'll make it as an expressway, a PPP, for people to pay for. And I think the Motor Association of Kenya went to court over it. So if it's a PPP, like the expressway that Uhuru with his Chinese road, the China road and bridge did, that we all pay for, but even that money was our stolen SGR money that they put up that expressway on. If that one is a PPP, that they are going to charge the people of that region to use, and I know the Motor Association of Kenya went to court over that, why should they use it? Pay for it. Why should they pay to use it? When in our fuel levy, we are already paying for road maintenance. We are paying for the road development levy. They're all there. So they need to give us the full details of that project. The road should be done. I'm not saying it should not be done.
Okay.
But give us the details
Okay.
of what is being done.
Bomas of Kenya.
Again,
It looks beautiful.
Vanity project. No, vanity projects.
Why vanity projects?
How many people will Bomas of Kenya treat because they are sick? How many people will Bomas of Kenya feed? Yeah. So you see what these guys do that you don't know. What legacy politicians do, they specialize in these mega projects where they make money. It's not about the people. In terms of prioritization in Kenya today, if you went to Rongai, which is closer to Bomas, if you went to Nyalenda or Kondele, Kisumu, where I grew up in, and asked them between building an international convention center and building a hospital, which will be a priority?
They've also built 2 referral hospitals. You also mentioned
No. You say they are building a referral hospital in Eldoret. I don't know the status of it. I cannot talk about it.
There's also one in Nyeri.
He said one in Nyeri. Let me say this. If you told me that I'm going to invest this much money in Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, I'm going to invest money in the level 3 hospitals, so that what you are spending in Bomas, almost 70 billion, I don't know how much it is that will end up being. Use it in improving healthcare services and facilities in the country. How many people will you save? Hilton Hotel was here in Nairobi CBD. It closed. I've just seen Grand Regency has just been bought by another person.
Yeah.
It is not for lack of facilities to do conventions. KCC is there. So what is this fascination, this obsession with building Bomas of Kenya? At this point in time, what's the priority? Is it for lack of facilities? If it were, I would say build it. Where I see it, it is not for lack of facilities. They exist. And in terms of prioritization, I will have, as Safina Party, will prioritize health to the people, will prioritize education to the people. It should be about human development. That is where William Ruto fails to the core. So it's trying to divert us from human development to vanity development.
Talanta Stadium,
Again,
we can see it there.
almost 100 billion. Obinna, even you have your juices here, right? That can serve a purpose.
Yes.
Now you built another stadium. You want us to celebrate 114 billion Kenya shillings alone, right? Uganda built a stadium almost the same time. How much was the cost? Less than 30 billion. Yeah, they're all bidding for AFCON. Prioritization is where these people fail, but they do it intentionally. The so-called failure is not out of ignorance. It's designed that way. Because that's a mega project, I'm going to steal your tax in advance. Debt, remember, is your tax in advance. I will not waste money putting up Talanta Stadium when you've not dealt with human development. I keep telling you, Obinna, our feast agenda is premised on human development. When you want to measure the metrics of success and happiness, you look at human development, access to education, health, jobs, employment, cost of living. That's the measurement. So you want that old woman in there to celebrate that we have Talanta Stadium and they're sleeping hungry and they're dying of preventable diseases.
Wakili, what is that one thing that the Ruto administration has done that is good? That pia unasema hapa nayo wamepata, they're on the right track.
He has lied non-stop.
Obinna.
Hapo naye, let me finish my end part. If there's one thing William Ruto has done to Kenyans, he has lied like Ananias. There is cause excellent.
Okay.
But
Owidi.
in terms of, if you had to say I look for anything tangible, the only thing I can credit William Ruto as an individual is that at least in 2017, 2022, he tried changing our political conversation to be about issues when he came up with the Hustler dynasty. He was now moving it to be, let's discuss our politics based on issues. And that is what, in my view, partly informed the accountability on him and the Gen Z revolution. Okay. Because we had campaigned on, we need to change our political conversations. We should always be talking about the people and giving them an opportunity for self-actualization through systems that work.
Owidi, what is one bad thing that the Ruto administration has done?
Obinna.
One bad thing that pia umesema hapa kidogo tukapotea. Before we come back to the other part, he said one good thing that they've done. What is the one bad thing that you who's supporting two term that you feel hapa kidogo, we kidogo drop the ball? Just one.
Let's see.
Be honest.
I'm always very honest.
Okay.
I'm always very honest. Let me see what I don't agree with. Because probably there is one. There could even be two or more.
Just one.
There could even be two or more. But I don't agree with this dalliance with this ODM Linda ground to an extent that some politicians there are committing crimes and nobody touches them because they feel the president favors them.
No,
that I don't agree with.
Forget this ODM part. Wachana na hii.
Yes.
Nasema since the administration started until now. Wacha ODM, hii party ODM achana nayo. Let's talk about the ruling party.
Ruling party, what do you mean? But
the Ruto administration. ODM just joined the other day when Baba
you
came
know, there are many things that people want you to say Ruto has done this wrong. But when I look at them, I've myself investigated them. They're just propaganda.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So you feel there's nothing...
There's nothing I can blame President Ruto again on according to what he has done as a president.
Okay.
No. But let us just talk about this. You see, Willis was talking about that he has not seen any food packed Galana Kulalu. Even me, I'm a farmer, but there's no food packed Odoyo Owidi's farm. Food from Galana Kuladu is taken to NCPB because it is maize. So don't expect to see anything. Galana Kulalu is not a manufacturing plant for food. It is a shamba. So if we get out of that, about health, I see you talking about, oh, they could use this on health. We can't have a country that everything is about health and food. We must do other things also. And you see, people who are educated like me and you need to understand that institutions create growth in any nation. Infrastructure create development in any nation. Let me give you a small example. When the Eastern Bypass was built from Embakasi to Utawala to Ruai and back to Ruiru, that all the satellite towns on that road became cities overnight. They became small cities. That is how a government helps a country develops. The Oxford city came as a result of Oxford University. So building institutions do not only create jobs, but they help our country develop. So this development you see President William Ruto doing, they are going to create jobs for the people, they are going to create development in the areas where they are, and they are going to bring, like the International Convention Center that has been built. You will see the world trooping into Kenya year in, year out, the same way they are, they are trooping to New York, because that is where the UN International Convention Center is. So expect them. We have been talking about one of the key revenue earners in this country as being tourism. Nothing can bring more tourism than that International Convention Center. I think you need to find out what it looks like and how big it is. So that handles your lack of facilities, including Talanta Stadium and the rest. But when you come here and tell people watching you that there are so many houses in Westlands and Kilimani, Ruto did not build such houses. Ruto built affordable housing, not those ones in Westlands and Kilimani. And also remember, I've heard you talking about, oh, it was built on our land with our money, so why are they being sold to us? Do you know SGR was built on our land, and we also paid railway development levy, but we still pay to use it. And when you didn't complain about that, you have no moral authority to complain here but now.
They have not sold
because there's an input.
This SGR is not sold to us. We are paying for the service. We can pay service charge for the houses.
My brother, I
if
don't
that be the
interrupt
case,
you.
we can pay service charge for the houses.
Okay, when you finish, let me know.
So what I am saying is this.
No, then I'm not going to allow you. I thought you were ending there.
Then continue.
So, the same way we paid railway levy and built the railway on our own land and compensated those who are there, we still need to pay to use that. These houses, we will still pay to use them. But one of the reasons why affordable housing was also being built, to create affordability throughout. That means there will be enough supply of housing, and that will even make the private sector also reduce their own rents. That is the motive. That is why the government did that. Besides that, currently now there are so many people being employed working on those things, and many of them will raise enough capital to now start their own businesses. And if we get out of that, and we go to, you kept on telling us to stop borrowing from the local market, stop borrowing from the local market. I want to give you an assignment. When you go home, you go and find out how much of the American debt is from their own local market. Then you come back home and think correctly.
When you expect America to borrow from Russia?
Me?
From China?
No, from anywhere outside the country.
Ask him the interest rates that Americans pay.
No. I don't want to argue both of you. Just so let's go back here.
Americans are paying 2% interest rate.
Willis keeps talking about legacy. I don't know who this legacy politician, but if there is a legacy politician in this country, wait, if there is a legacy politician in this country, it cannot be anybody other than Jimmy Wanjigi. Has been there since I was a small child, doing his underground politics. Politics is not about getting elected or not. Politics is about playing politics. And Jimmy Wanjigi has been there. So make sure that each time you talk about legacy politicians, make sure you understand that it's also part of it. You are telling us that the president has failed in the economy and security. But this is the same president who made sure the cost of unga reduced from Uhuru's 250 to 120. This is the same William Ruto who brought cost of fuel from Uhuru's 250 per liter to until recently 116 until this war broke out. This is the Ruto who has fixed the economy of this country. This is the Ruto who has made the economy of this country stable. This is the Ruto who has made sure we have enough foreign reserves to use to bring money. This is the Ruto who has brought inflation from 9.6 to now 4.3. And you still want to say he has failed in this. He has not failed, and can't say he failed in security. No. Kenya, as far as I'm concerned, is more secure now than when they were when we were finding bodies in Rivayala. They are more secure now.
Quick fire now. Sasa saizi statement as you continue because tukiendelea hivi sana naona kuna watu wataongea hapa 5 hours. Aya. Now I just want to pick your brains on a couple of things. What do you guys think of the sale of Kenya Pipeline? Was it necessary? Was it done the right way? Wakili?
I don't believe in the sale of that asset.
Okay.
Because for the simple reason, when they're trying to sell that money, they're taking that money, they're not even taking that money to the consolidated fund. They're taking it to a so-called infrastructure fund. That was a national asset. We built it using the Kenyan people's money. And our laws provide that when you receive money as a country, it all goes to the consolidated fund, it forms part of the budget. Now they want to run their own parallel infrastructure fund, where they sell our strip of our assets, put in that strange fund of theirs, so divert it from the control of budgets control and the Auditor General. I don't support it.
Owidi?
It was, by the way, let me also say this. Kenya Pipeline was a loss-making entity. Why do you strip yourself of something that was earning you money?
It was an asset.
It was an asset. It was earning revenue.
Okay.
Are we talking about assets or loss-making enterprises? Let me tell you something like this. If you have a business that has a potential of making 100 billion profit per year, and it is making 1 billion, and you're telling us it was not making losses after all, you need to go and rethink as you sleep. So, one of the things we need to do, even you, if you think you have certain assets that you are not getting enough from, yet you are struggling to get a house to sleep in, sell that asset, build a house. Sometimes we transfer assets from one to another. If we use that money to build the Rironi Mau Summit Road, that is transferring money from one asset to another. Rironi Mau Summit will be a national asset. So I think a brilliant president like William Ruto will remove funds from somewhere to build something else. Because Kenya Pipeline, even if it were to be sold even to a Ugandan, it is still in Kenya, serving Kenya, and we have no problem. If today a Tanzanian comes and builds for us a road, we will be the Kenyans using that road. So we need infrastructure in this country to help us serve this country. So the best thing Ruto has done is those assets that are not giving us enough revenue can be exchanged for other assets. We are not going to misuse that money. We are going to use it to develop other assets.
But you have your tax revenue that is always budgeted for, goes to Parliament Appropriations Act, and we build these roads. We've built over 10,000 kilometers of roads since independence without selling Kenya Pipeline.
Divide that by the number of years.
What is this that you're now, which is this new road that you want to build that can only be built using Kenya Pipeline to sell? When you collect money here every year and you come up with a budget every year, Appropriations Act, where you allocate money for the roads ministry. We have fuel maintenance, road maintenance, the fuel levy that we are paying for to build those roads. What is this double standards? That's why I don't support it.
Okay. Let me help my friend. If you want to come here and talk to Kenyans who really don't know, tell them we collect road maintenance levy this much. Rironi Mau Summit could cost this much. Then we will understand you. But when you talk of figures that are not mentioned, how are we going to help you?
No.
Kenya today, you know, what we collect from Kenyans, you said it here as we said, is 2.4 trillion. I gave you block how we use that money, and we don't have enough left to build this thing. And also you must make sure our viewers know that this tax of 2.4 trillion does not arrive on 1st January of every year or 1st June of every year. It is collected pole pole to kienda. So it is not money lying somewhere that we can use to do certain things that we ought to be doing.
But that's how government has always worked. It's appropriated. You paid based on invoice, on certificates. There's nothing new you are saying. Because in any government project, or even in my own house if I'm building, I'll pay the developer based on certificates. You done this scope, after 1 month, you give a certificate, you are paid. Government collects money every day. Every Friday, the Accountant General does disbursements. So there's no big deal about it.
Okay. Sale of Safaricom. The shares.
Very necessary.
Okay. Did you get the best rate in the market?
Because according to Ndindi Nyoro, the rate that we got was not the best rate in the market.
Forget about Ndindi Nyoro. Ndindi Nyoro is the person who one day woke up and said, somewhere in Kasarani where Raila Odinga was meeting, he has seen a bus written Nyalenda Girls High School, Sijui Kibos Girls High School, schools that don't exist. So Ndindi Nyoro is a certified liar. He's only second to Rigiji. So Ndindi Nyoro cannot be an authority in anything. He can't.
Okay.
So
Sale
don't
of
tell me
Safaricom
about
shares.
Ndindi Nyoro.
Okay, remove Ndindi Nyoro from it. Sale of Safaricom shares. Did you get the best deal, and was that the perfect move to do?
That was the perfect move to do. That was the right thing to do. Let me tell you, please, we do not need to come to a serious show like this with social media fact. Those social media things, social media is full of propaganda. Even the Kenyan legacy media is full of propaganda. When we come here, we need to come with facts, figures, and logic taken from authoritative sources. But not Ndindi Nyoro said, I read it, like I was reading that 90 billion versus 89 billion. And I said, people expect us to believe this. The other day, the other guy I said should not come on any show with me was arguing that Uhuru left 8.9, Ruto now it is 12.5, now Ruto has borrowed 3.6. What a basic mathematician. But it works for political reasons because many a citizen in this country do not understand beyond that. He knows if I had 8.9 and now I had 12.9, somebody has added me 4. That is the math they do. And they believe it is true.
Okay.
And they are the people who will call you are stupid on social media.
What do you think of the sale of Safaricom?
Same old. Why are we stripping off our assets? It's earning us money. Why is such a deal shrouded in secrecy? It was making money for the people of Kenya.
How can it
These
be
are your
secrecy?
assets. You sell your crown jewels and to do roads, and yet you have a budget. You collect money from Kenyans every year. Then you are incapable of leading. You are avoiding debt. This stripping of assets that is going on is because of the legal debts. The odious debt that Safina says we shall confront head on. They are responsible because they are part of that illegal debt. They've taken those illegal debts, those odious debts. They are avoiding that debt conversation. So try to sell off these assets and buy political capital while at it. Then you have something to take to the people. We don't support it.
So when we blame Ruto for getting money from our assets to build roads, we did not blame Uhuru for borrowing money to build projects. Like,
in fact, the point
like,
is very, the
wait
point
a
is very
minute,
simple.
let me not help you think, then you start talking.
I'm answering you. I'm not thinking. I'm answering you.
But let me finish,
Okay,
then you
finish,
can answer.
Finish.
Yeah? We are now paying for the expressway. Yet in this country, we have fuel levy, as you say, we pay taxes, as you say. We are now paying loan for the SGR, we are still paying. Yet you are saying we collect taxes. Let's understand, let's make our viewers understand. Even though we collect money, including very development countries, there are certain projects that are too big to do from the taxes we collect from our citizens. So those ones, we must borrow and pay them over a period. Another reason why sometimes we do things the way we do is because we want to let the people who are directly going to benefit from those assets be the one to bear the big burden of paying them. That is why sometimes when we build the SGR, we pay because when we use it, so that the people who use it directly pay more. When we build the expressway, we let the people who would love to use the convenience of the expressway be the ones to pay that debt instead of the whole Kenyans. When we bring this idea of affordable housing, the people who really need to use those houses are the ones who are going to bear the greatest burden of paying for those things. But then there are those ones which you pay even when you are going to use it or not in the form of direct taxes.
You know, let me tell you, because Aldan was talking, whatever is misleading our viewers. To begin with, the expressway is not a loan. That was a PPP.
Yes, I said so.
You say that we are paying for the loan. The Kenyan people are not paying the loan on the expressway. That's a private venture. The users pay for the use. And over a period of time, the developer of that road hopefully will recover his money that he invested in that money, on that project. SGR, and he's giving this example of why they must sell the affordable housing, and And I'm seeing it's saying because we pay for SGR uses. When I said, why are they selling the houses? They can as well give the people of Kenya for free, and they pay service charge to service, maintain the services. Just like the train, when we use it, we are not buying the train. The railway is not sold to us. It remains for the people of Kenya.
True.
We pay for the service to maintain the operations. Although he doesn't seem to understand it. He just doesn't get it. And, you know, when I'm saying we have a national budget where all our monies go to the Appropriations Act. And within that budget, they allocate money for recurrent expenditure and development expenditure. He's talking about Uhuru Kenyatta's loans. The illegal debts that were taken started with Uhuru Kenyatta, that I must say. And last I checked, the deputy president to Uhuru Kenyatta was William Ruto. And the number one defender of Eurobond, the number one defender. There's a citizen interview between William Ruto and Hussein, his current spokesman, where William Ruto says we are not mad. We've taken that Eurobond and we are going to use that money prudently. That money will be used prudently in an account in Qatar that Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto know about. They were the president and the deputy. So he's not as innocent as he's trying to make us believe. He's guilty as charged, like Uhuru Kenyatta. And while at it, I hasten to add, forget about Uhuru Kenyatta, he's in the past. He's left office. Right? These ongoing criminal activities on illegal debts, which are being taken by William Ruto's administration, we deal with it now. We must raise it. Because it is that debt. No, Kenyans don't seem to understand the correlation between debt and their living. That debt that you are paying for is what is depriving you of education, is depriving you of healthcare, is depriving you of employment opportunities, is making your cost of living to become unbearable. There will be no change in this country until the day we confront the debt monster, a monster created by Uhuru Kenyatta and now perpetuated by William Ruto. Those two are responsible for the economic pain that we are seeing here as a people.
Okay.
Before you deal with it, forget it. In fact, let me say this.
Yeah.
Whoever comes after William Ruto, because going is going, as I always say. William Ruto is going, he's even gone. But whoever comes after him, if you don't confront the debt monster, I assure you, in 2 months' time, the Kenyan people will be saying, even you, whoever it is, must go. That's why Safina Party, we are very clear from the beginning. Our first agenda item, deal with the debt monster. You must confront it.
Okay. IBC might not have budgets. Is the election still going to happen? The chairperson said kidogo maziwa yao imepunguka pale. What do you think?
Don't worry, there's another budget next year. But anyway, whatever they can do this year, they can do, but we are going to have an election. But you see, this debt, Jimmy Wanjigi, his deputy, and his secretary keep on dwelling debt. When Uhuru was taking these illegal debts, they were all adults, including their secretary. They were all adults. They said nothing. They didn't talk about these things they are talking now, and they want Ruto to take responsibility. You know, Willis is a lawyer, not just an ordinary one, an advocate of the High Court of high standing. But this guy wants to tell us that in Kenya we have two presidents, one the deputy and one the president. The deputy president of Republic of Kenya does not have any powers of his own. The deputy president of a nation is like a spare tire waiting for the other one to burst so that it comes in. He does not have any powers of his own. In fact, the ministers have more powers than the DPs. They don't have power at all. At all. So if there is anything going wrong, squarely at the foot of the president. And let me tell you one more thing. When Uhuru was in power, Ruto was not his opposition leader to start opposing the things he's doing. He's like any other loyal deputy would say, I know my boss would do the right things with it. If the boss did not do the right thing and you expected him, the deputy, to see them when you saw them and didn't talk about it, I think was to expect too much from the deputy of Uhuru Kenyatta. You are an adult.
Context.
and well informed, and should have been the one complaining that Uhuru, where is Eurobond? Uhuru, why are we paying for railway levy? Uhuru, why are we doing all these things? This is the same man who told us he has kept 3 billion to rehabilitate the Kisumu port. We have not seen where the Kisumu port is rehabilitated, but we also don't know where the 3 billion went. But all we know is the land belonging to the port was grabbed. That is all we know.
Okay. Let me say context. You know, he keeps mentioning Jimmy Wanjigi, even though he's not here, but I'll respond to this. Jimmy Wanjigi's conversation on the odious debt started when Uhuru Kenyatta was president. It didn't start with William Ruto. Right from Eurobond, the person who was pushing that conversation of let's trace these billions, it was Jimmy and Raila Odinga. 2014. In fact, Jimmy Wanjigi commissioned a forensic audit to establish what is our debt status. What did Parliament approve to be taken as debt? And what was taken, what are we being told is our debt stock? Published in July 2022 before the elections. And he bought advertisement space in the newspapers, I mean in the media, to air it. That forensic audit that Jimmy did is available online. And what it tells you is this. In the 10 years of Uhuru Kenyatta, what we found, looking at all the Appropriations Act year by year, for 10 years, the Kenyan people had only approved through their parliament borrowing of only 2.4 trillion. Year by year, look at the Appropriations Act and take the line items on debt, 2.4 trillion. And in the same period, he had inherited from Mwai Kibaki around 1.8, 1.9 trillion, let's put it 2 trillion. That makes it 4.2 trillion. In the same period, the Kenyan people had paid, when you look at the National Treasury statements of actuals, receipts, and expenditures, which we again looked month by month from that time, 2013 to 2023. Month by month, adding up how much we've paid out as debt finance, we had paid 5.4 trillion. In other words, if you had to take our laws, what we took based on our laws as debt, and what we paid, we had actually overpaid our debt by 1.3 trillion. We are owed money. But then, as Uhuru is handing over to Kenyatta, to this one's leader, they are told,
It's our leader.
this is your leader. Your debt stock is 8 trillion. Now he has pushed it. You are told your debt stock is now at 12.8 trillion. In fact, World Bank and IMF, when they went there last week, but one, you know what they were told? Stop lying to us here that your debt stock is 12.8 trillion. Your actual debt stock is 14 trillion. If we take in securitization that you've done and your pending bills, you owe people, you are indebted to the tune of 14 trillion, not the 12.6 you're telling us. Last week. So in other words, don't say that Jimmy did nothing. He was loud about it. And he has been consistent since then to date. And he will not know it. But if he asks his leader, William Ruto, will tell him that, by the way, I have failed in delivering on my promises, not because I hate the people of Kenya. This debt monster has made it impossible for me to deliver. So I have to start thinking of other ideas, other ways of doing these things. But unfortunately, the ultimate test of a leader is measured on the human indice. Not what is trying to do those flowery things that look like nonsense at the Bomas of Kenya. Now my grandmother, who is deep in Nyalgunga, you are telling her you built Bomas of Kenya, now she should be up when she's struggling with access to healthcare. When she has a grandchild, who now she's paying for school fees.
Does constructing the Bomas of Kenya impact the economy positively?
It doesn't. How will it? Tell me how.
Let me tell you.
Let me tell him. Let me answer you. What I'm simply telling you is this. And Odoyo, I don't know. There's nobody sitting. Let me just finish. There's nobody sitting somewhere in Switzerland or Rome that I don't know where to hold my meetings, that where can I find a facility? It is in Kenya. If that is your strategy to attracting tourism, I'm sorry, it will not work. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. That nobody is sitting in Europe to think that, oh, they have a big room there in Nairobi called Bomas of Kenya International. Let's go and tour there. That's nonsense. That's not how to do tourism.
Okay.
So the end result of Bomas of Kenya, if you ask me, is very simple. That facility, once it is done, you will find that even the cost of maintaining it will become a blow to the taxpayer. How much revenue will it generate vis-a-vis the cost of maintaining that operation? What they have not told us, and I keep saying this, why I'm not even fully commenting on some of these projects. What they have not told us, have you seen the nature of the contract of what is going on in Bomas? Is it a PPP or is it a debt-driven project? Kenyan people don't know. Article 10 on transparency and accountability means nothing to them. Because if you told me it's a PPP, somebody has decided to bring their own money and invest it there and run the risk, market it globally, hopefully maintain it, we've given you 5 years or 10 years or 20 years to recover your money, that's his problem. But if it is taxpayers' money that you're using to build that thing through debt, then it becomes what I call vanity projects that are not meant to serve the people, but to benefit from the kickbacks in the contracts.
Is it going to help the economy?
Let me tell you, you know, sometimes to help people is very difficult, especially people who have chosen to criticize everything. He's saying how his mother in Yalgunga is going to benefit from that. Let me tell you, that grandmother of yours, the son is going to work there and will send to her money daily. I wanted to make it that simple for you. But let me tell you, as you say, somebody is not sitting in Switzerland wondering where to go for holiday. Even me, I'm sitting here. I'm not wondering where to go and buy my food. But when I find a place near my house where I can buy food, I will buy. That International Convention Center, its availability will attract those visitors. Do you know there are countries that have become very rich just because they are tourism destinations? And I'm not saying we turn Kenya into a tourism destination, but it must be partially a tourism destination. With Bomas of Kenya there, very near Nairobi National Park, who wouldn't want to go to a convention center which is a stone throw from a national park? Who doesn't want? And you said here in the beginning that, oh, that Bomas of Kenya is a PPP project, and so we shouldn't take credit for it. Fine. There is no private investor who would put his money onto a phantom project. Nobody. So the fact that it is PPP and somebody has chosen to put his money in it, it means it is worth every cent that goes in there. Just the same way the people who built the expressway knew they will collect them, and they are collecting. I personally paid money on it when I was coming from the airport here direct. Okay. So, my brother, that project is the best that has happened since KICC was built.
Okay.
That the tourists will come to Kenya because you built Bomas International Convention. My friends in the tourism sector will laugh at you.
They will laugh. They can't laugh because they know. It is you who can laugh because you don't understand how it works. I'm telling you,
they will laugh at you. It is actually ridiculous.
Do you know even hosting tournaments? You only host when you have a stadium.
That a government propagandist can appear online to say that because you built Bomas of Kenya, that alone is enough to bring tourism. If that is what you are hoping
alone
for,
is your word.
Tourism is an ecosystem. It takes a lot.
Yes.
You're not going to say that because we built Bomas.
No, Bomas is going to be part of that ecosystem.
Let me finish. You build Bomas, and yet crime rate is increasing here because young people are unemployed. That any tourism who comes here, tourist who comes here, is going to be mugged, like we're now witnessing all over the city. And now they'll come. I mean, there's nothing you're doing to support that tourism. If you want to discuss tourism, discuss the entire value chain, the ecosystem of tourism that is necessary. And as William Ruto is implementing his failed economic policies, he is destroying the entire ecosystem that will support tourism. The animals can sit in the national park, full to the brim. No one will come to watch them. Because they know you come out of the airport, number one, the harassment from KRA and CG Customs to the security in the country, nobody is going to risk. There's no tourists coming to Kenya when your president is there saying, shoot people, protesters, shoot them on the legs to kill them. Eh?
We have a lot.
Obinna, please. insecurity in this country did not start with William Ruto.
We are
No,
talking,
don't
we are
let
talking,
me
we are
talk now.
talking of him now.
Huh?
We are
Did you
talking
so,
of him now.
So
Now.
it did not start with William
Now.
Ruto, and he has a plan for it.
Okay.
And you were talking about what? What did you just say?
No, you wanted to ask a question, you don't
I
answer.
wanted to ask a question.
Ask.
Okay. So we have a lot that we can still tackle. So we're going to go for part 2. So this one is going to end here for today. However, what do you guys think of Gaucho's appointment to the board of Mama Lucy?
My take on it, I've sat in boards,
Okay.
and I left my third board in actually early last year, no, late last year, in
Okay.
June. That board is supposed to consist of several people,
Okay.
people who are good in finance, in the profession which that board serves, that in case of Gaucho, doctors, then the stakeholders representatives. For example, when you sit in the board of water, you must also have people who represent water consumers. They must also sit in that board. So that when that board is discussing issues about consumers, he has to represent them. So when we are doing matters, finance and auditing, there is somebody who is a professional in that. When we are doing matters of the core business of that board, there are people doing that. That is how boards are represented. So I think in his wisdom, the governor of Nairobi thought that because Mama Lucy is an Eastlands hospital, serving largely people from the ghettos, they need to get somebody from that that group to come and sit in that board to represent their interests.
Okay. What do you think, Wakili?
I mean, Gaucho is a citizen, and based on what is required, the competence is required for that board. If they wanted somebody to represent Mtaa, then it's okay to consider him. I don't think he should be denied an opportunity like any other Kenyan just because they don't have the specialized qualifications to serve. If he meets a particular competence that was needed at that time, if it was about bringing the voices of the local community, then there should be no issue with it. But if the appointment was in place of a professional representative,
Okay.
I would have a problem with it.
Okay. You guys saw Linda Wananchi movement in Kisumu? You saw Babu Otieno Odoyo, he was received. Owidi, what do you think of that reception that he received?
I didn't see how was he received, but I believe he was received.
You didn't see?
Why
I
would
can
why would
show
I
you.
take my time watching things?
Let me just show you now, so you see. So we
talk
from
about
a
what I have seen.
factual point of view. So this is
Yeah, you're not giving him the right. Yeah, this one, this one.
hapo nimeona. And I will tell you why.
ona tu mpaka ishe. Usikie na mbio.
Nimsongeshe mbele.
Ataiona tu. Wacha iende kibuild.
Inaingia.
Iende kibuild.
Anaona sasa.
Yes.
We focus.
I'm focusing.
Here.
Yes, there. That's where I'm looking. Or because my eyes are small, you think I'm not seeing.
on the tourist attraction. You are not putting on your glasses.
No. When it's that far, I can see it without glasses. But when it is here,
You can hear the chants.
yes,
What are they saying?
they are saying Babu. So did he tell you to come and play this year?
Nope. I'm just asking you.
Okay.
You see? That, like, it's a bit long.
No. Let me tell you, the people we want to talk to, I'm sure they also watched it.
Okay. So now that you've seen it, what do you think?
I think it's a good reception, but it is normally an organized reception. That kind of thing, that is what Gladys Wanga also does. You hire a mob to receive you. And you know what they do? Let me tell you something what they do. If today, maybe she's going to Kisii, there is an agent at the Kisii University. You arrive there with good money. But you see, you just need a threshold number of cheerleaders. The moment they start cheering, the rest join the bandwagon. Just like when you in a hall, when a speaker has spoken and one person begins to clap, everybody joins in and it becomes something like that. I am not really saying that Babu is not popular. No. That's what I'm saying. But I am telling you so that you learn that such receptions are normally paid for. They are not organic.
So Babu paid all these people in Kisumu.
I have explained to you how the people build. You
Yeah,
don't need everybody.
just
You
a
just
few.
need 100 and the rest will. If you
So
start
Babu paid 100
if we
people
start
and then-
singing here with Willis, you people will join the choir. That's how it works.
Hey, Odoyo. If denial was a person,
It is not
You know,
denying.
this is
I
what
have told you.
Now you know the Chinese, when they manufacture this glass, they put some water.
Aya, Wakili, what do you think of that reception?
No, for me, it was a triumph for democracy,
Okay.
especially considering what the statements that some legacy politicians from the region had been saying
Okay.
in the run-up, and the image that was initially people were trying to portray of Kisumu as the city of goons. Some senior officials maybe supporting some goons or sponsoring, or in a way
Okay.
trying to use goon tactics to scare the people of Kisumu from also participating in the political process of the country. So for me, I see it as more of a triumph for the people of Kisumu, to the extent that they were able to resist the attempt to muzzle alternative voices from that region.
Okay.
So I celebrate what they did.
Okay.
Yeah, at least now we know that that region, and any other part of Kenya for that matter, should be open for political ideas, competition. Because this competition, you know, I always tell Owidi sometimes when we meet, that these things we are doing, these politics we are playing, you know, it's about people's lives. And it should be about ideas, the best idea winning. We hope that when Safina wins, it must be win for everybody. Don't say Willis has won or Jimmy has won.
Yeah.
It can't be that. Because we are talking about how you are going to manage people's resources. It's their money that they are going to pay as tax, and you are using it to improve their lot. You're just but a trustee. So to help people to arrive at a good decision as to which is the best idea, you must allow political competition, and you must allow, even if you don't like the ideas, you must allow people to express themselves, to debate, to campaign, and the voter will decide on election day which is the best idea. So I celebrate the Kisumu people
yes.
for what they did in welcoming Linda Mwananchi.
And Babu kwa sababu.
And Babu kwa sababu. They
Yeah.
come in numbers to express support and to listen to their voices.
You know, Obinna, those people who are saying, Sijui, Mara, somebody should not step in Kisumu, Mara, they just fell in the trap of Babu. Babu had already set them up, and they fell in hook, line, and sinker, chublu. They honestly did not need to say that. Especially in war, you don't tell the opponent that I am going to do this, I'm going to do this. Let it be a surprise. But if you know you are going to do nothing, shut your damn mouth. You are giving the whole thing publicity. But you see, sometimes we have people who think they are politicians because Raila used to give them tickets and they get elected without competition. The real politicians are not those ones in parliament. The real politicians are those who battled them without the ODM certificate and remained.
Okay. Final submissions. Camera and your hit, tuanze na Wakili, then we finish with the week.
It's very important that as a people, when we are having this political discourse, always remember that it's about you. When you go to vote, don't vote for an individual. Vote for yourself. What is on that ballot? Is it that individual that you're following, or is it the lack of jobs in your home? Is it the failed economic system in the country that's affecting your home? Is it the failed healthcare system that's affecting your home? Is it the kids who you are with at home that you are not able to afford to pay their school fees? When you vote, you must always remember that you are voting for yourself. You are not voting for an individual. And it's important that the Kenyan people reject legacy politicians and their usual tribal divisions that have been used for 60 years to divide the Kenyan people, to divert their attention from the real issue that actually matters. The core issues that the Kenyan people should be focusing on is thrown to the back burner. We are left divided along tribal lines. The economy knows no tribe. When the economy fails, it fails for all Kenyans. It doesn't fail for only one particular tribe and it leaves another tribe. So I urge Kenyans, anytime you are engaging in political conversation, you must interrogate all of us who've offered themselves as political players. Interrogate our ideas, ask us questions, push us, and let the best idea to win, because victory must be victory to all Kenyans. I welcome you all to Safina Party. Safi na pesa. The feast agenda is our mantra.
Wewe. Safi na pesa. The feast ajana ni feast ya ngumi. Oh,
Odia's debt, not paying Odia's debt. Apply that money to education, primary, secondary, TVET, healthcare. Apply part of that money to healthcare. It becomes free for all Kenyans. You are not paying additional money. Your taxpayer money used to pay for your healthcare services. We are reducing VAT, taking away VAT, get it out. We only have 5% sales tax in place of VAT. Number 5, we are saying no borrowing by government in the domestic market. It should be, that money in the domestic banks should be available to the Kenyan people. And to protect the feast, we are saying the command of the police must be given back to the people. Elect the sheriff.
Where?
Good.
Feast agenda. Owidi master.
I'll struggle to make it short, but this is what I have to say. Kenyans today, we have to decide what we are voting for rather than who we are voting for. We must also be aware that we cannot do political debates from what we pick randomly from social media, from what we pick randomly from the Kenyan media. Because this is the same Kenyan media that yesterday a Kenyan broke the world marathon record in Europe. And newspapers in Europe and the rest of the world was having it as the headline. Right here at home, we were talking about which leader is bad and which one is good and which has had broken crowd records. I think we need to be more logical, more reliable to our people in our reporting, and we need to be a media that people can rely on. Not one that reports according to where their bread comes from. There are politicians who have now put our media houses to report about changing opinions of the people rather than doing a business as they ought to be doing. So watch out. Do not go to arguments with social media or media statements that are not verified. Thank you, Kenyans. Vote for ideas. Do not vote for people. Thank you.
Owidi is a very... Don't vote for people. Vote for ideas. All right, thank you so much for watching. If you have any more questions, you know their social media handles. They're always very active pale kwenye X. Social media yako ni?
Kwa X ni Otieno Will.
Otieno Will.
On Facebook is Willis Otieno, the page.
Okay.
That is linked to my Instagram.
Okay.
And TikTok is Piki Ponky.
There you go. Owidi?
Facebook, Odoyo Owidi.
Yeah.
X, Owidi Odoyo.
Okay.
TikTok, Odoyo Owidi. And YouTube is Red Ring TV.
Red Ring TV.
That's what I am on YouTube.
Okay. So if you have any more questions you want to tackle, you want them to tackle for you, you know where to get them. Thank you so much for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe, man. If you have not subscribed, we are road to 1 million, man. Ni nyinyi tu metungoja kidogo hivi. Ilifaa tufungue mwaka kama tumefika 1 million, but well, here we are. All right, I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Good night. God bless you.
Wow, are your walls looking plain and uninspired? Transform your space with premium wall panels, elegant marble PVC with stunning backlighting, and modern floating TV stands. All designed to give your home a luxurious, timeless finish. At Mr. Frames Kenya, we offer top quality designs at unbeatable prices. Whether you're going to a classic or modern look, we've got the perfect solution for your home or office. Call or WhatsApp us today on 0705 759 102 or connect with us on social media. Mr. Frames Kenya. Mr. Frames Kenya, where style meets affordability.
Oh my God.
Funga macho.
Katika hiyo.
Si unaona unafinya nusu like from this side.
Yote. Hivyo.
Okay.
Where? Why are you sweating?
It's hot.
What's hot?
Nice.
I can't say.
Haya kanyaga buda, toka kwa show yetu nini?
Obinna, you need to be here.
I am. Check guys.
Ni water.